right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the planning board meeting, July 1st. Would you join in a pledge of allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Catherine, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Mr. Kashani?
Here.
Mr. Kosel?
Here.
Mr. Malta?
Here.
Mrs. Maltman? Here. Mr. Gassick?
Here.
Ms. Corsi? Here. Mr. Artuso?
Here.
And Mr. Chardy?
And he's on the phone. Yeah, we got him. Good.
Yeah, I'm present on the phone.
Okay. Let's see, we got a pretty lengthy agenda. If anyone is here for that Sienna project, they have asked to be tabled, so they're not going to be here, so I don't know if there's anyone here for that. They are tabled this evening. That was first item for the scheduled matters. Okay, with that, we can move forward and get started. Why don't you go ahead and read the first one out?
Sure. So first one is Providence Section 9, located at Abruzzi Drive. Applicant HG Builders is requesting final subdivision and site plan approval associated with the creation of 10 lots and construction of 10 single-family dwellings on a 5.36 acre lot located in the R1 single-family residential district under sections 269-11, 296-19, and 350-10 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Okay, yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Ray Ramondi. I'm with Costage Engineering, here tonight on behalf of John Gaspari and HG Builders, as you said, to request our final approval for the last section of this development, Providence Estates. This section consists of 10 single-family homes, along with the extension of the road and cul-de-sac, and all the related utilities for the last section. We have previously met with the Town Engineer and Project Review Committee back in April and hope to be presenting this back in May, but we had some delays with the jurisdictional determination for wetlands, and the project was tabled both in May and June because of that, and we are now finally past the deadline. They have not responded, so that exempts us for a 5-year period based on their new rules. We also have already submitted to the Monroe County Water Authority, and the Department of Health have heard back from the Water Authority, and their requests and changes are reflected in the plans that I sent the other day. We also have addressed and met all the comments from the Town Engineer that make all those changes and revisions. Both seeker and SWIP for this subdivision are still in effect from the original other sections. And the additional requirement requested was that the owner clean and grub the pond area and dredge it so that it gets a fresh start again. With that, we hope to kick off the final phase and get this board's approval. Here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. This is what, section 9, right? That's
correct.
The last piece. No changes in it from the original?
Not really, just the additions that the engineer required.
Yeah, that's what I mean, just no increase of the size or anything of that nature?
No, no change.
Right, pretty much the same, and you dealt with the jurisdictional determinations, you've got all that finally, that's pain in the neck, I understand, but... All right, anybody any questions on it? I have none. I mean, this project has been here for several years. Actually, John's father is the one that brought it in years ago, right, John? I remember. Yeah. Anybody any questions on it? Any concerns for this project?
We've gone through this pretty much.
You're okay with it? Everybody's all right with it? Josh, you all right? You guys?
No, everything is...
Keith, everything all right with you guys and your end of it? We can just move forward and move this along?
Yeah.
Great. You guys are all right with this too? All right, fine. So, Dave, you want to make a motion for it?
Sure.
Final approval.
Yep. Make a motion for final approval for Providence Section 9, located at Abruzzi Drive. And it's subject to Project Review Committee comments, subject to Parks and Recreation fees, subject to preliminary approval conditions, subject to all applicable government fees, subject to Department of Public Works approvals. Significant construction shall occur within 1 year, as deemed by the planning board, to expire on July 1st, 2026. The conditions of preliminary final approval are depicted on the cover page of the final design plans. The engineer for the proposed project shall provide a letter of certification that all work was completed as per planning board resolution of final approval before a certificate of occupancy will be issued. Letter credit to the town for the project shall include the fee for the engineer's final certification inspection. All stormwater facilities will be constructed first. Are we doing downspouts to the storm sewer system, or are they on ground?
Jack, you know, are we doing
Is that
downspouts?
it?
Underground? No, just,
That's your motion, Dave?
Subject to resolution of final approved minutes. Approvals are subject to the drawing as provided, and that's a motion.
That's it, okay, we have a motion, we need a second.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second, we'll call it.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Kozel?
Aye.
Mr. Gassett?
Aye.
Ms. Maltman?
Aye.
Mr. Kishoni?
Okay, have approval for it. We have to do actually, we got to do a subdivision approval on that too also, don't we, Josh?
Yes.
Should have a subdivision, all right, I'll make a motion that we grant a final subdivision approval for this project. It's been in existence for quite a while, and basically what it is, it's the division of any parcel of land and into a number of lots is constituted as a subdivision and then a site plan. So we've done the site plan, so I'll make a motion that we grant approval for a subdivision.
Second it.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Kishoni?
Aye.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Kozel?
Aye.
Mr. Gassett?
Aye.
Mrs. Maltman?
Aye.
All right, you're all set.
thank you very much, appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay, the second item on our agenda tonight is Clem Road Pole Barn, located at 1054 Clem Road. Angel Lagares is requesting preliminary and final site plan approval associated with the construction of a 1,920 square foot pole barn on a 2.2 acre lot located in the R2 Single Family Residential District under sections 269-11, 350-11, and 350-36 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'm Angel Lagares, so this is my wife, Sandy Lagares, 1054 Clem Road. Proposing to build a pole barn, 32 by 60, 19.5 high, and extend the driveway to the pole barn.
Okay, when you were in a month ago, what we just simply asked, I mean, there was some information lacking. We couldn't give an approval based on
Yeah.
what you presented. What you presented now, I guess, conforms a whole lot better. There's still, I guess, a few questions that might be asked, but I think we asked for side dimension. You've included that. That's 15 feet. Elevation drawings. We asked for material samples. I think you were going to have some samples or something. What the material you were using?
This is the material. It's going to be on the roof and on the walls.
Okay. Now the height of the residence, the main residence. Now you're saying it's 19 feet.
The residence height, I measured it, is 21.5.
Okay, that's what we needed to have. So
Yeah.
you probably should mark that, or maybe. I think you do have it, 20.5 you've got.
Yeah, it was
You got it written
21.
with pencil on there. All right. All right, now what is immediately next to you? I know you're 15 feet from the line.
Yes.
There's nothing else back there, is there?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
There's all woods back behind us and on
Okay.
the side of us.
All right, anybody have any questions or anything?
Yeah, I think one of my comments last time was just having the site plan, the surveyor plan, have the building drawn to scale on that plan, and what was submitted was not to scale on there. It seems as if it was just indicating a pole barn in isometric with house view on the plan. I also asked for the gravel or the access to the pole barn to be indicated. That doesn't look like it's to scale there. For example, it says 30-foot width in one section, and that's not to scale if I was to use, for example, the house dimensions compared to what 30 feet is. So I guess I'm just looking for a site plan layout that is dimensionally correct where this pole barn is going to be to scale. With appropriate access to it as well.
Okay.
My other question just is downspouts, is this going to be surface discharged or collected on the ground just because it's so close to the neighboring property within that 15 feet and
No different
that's
than a
a
house.
substantial size. So.
It's no different than a house. There's houses only have 15 feet side by side. There's nothing next to you back there, is there?
No.
Okay. What would you propose doing, running a storm sewer back there for it?
I'm just curious if there's anything that is going to be discharging. It looks like it wouldn't be. It's discharging to the woods there to the west.
Yeah,
so.
I don't see that as an issue. I agree with the other ones, to have it drawn to scale and show the driveway on there. I agree with that. Okay, anything else? Anybody else have any concerns with this? You did basically complete all the comments we did have the last time. Dave? Derek, anybody? Anybody? You guys are all right?
Yeah.
Derek, you're all set? You're okay with it?
Yep.
Okay. All right, then I would suggest maybe what you need to do would be when you go to get your permit, take your drawing and just, as he just stated, just make a building to square. You don't have to draw the building, just put the outline of the building, like your house.
Okay,
Where it is and how many feet back it is, and then put your driveway.
okay,
Show a driveway extension going back. So give that, we can work with the approval, I'm sure everybody would be okay with that, provided you do that and give it before you get a permit.
okay,
Would that work for you?
yep.
Okay. Yeah, sure, certainly. Yeah, I'll open it up. It's a public hearing. Okay, when we're done, then I know you're in a hurry, but let me finish with him first. Let me finish with them first. Then we'll, no, we're almost there. The other thing we asked for was samples of the material. He has shown us the samples of the material. Okay? And do you have any question, anything for the board?
No, I don't.
Okay, then we'll open the public meeting to, yes, sir, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My name's John Bussard. We're the house that lives right next door.
And what I'd like to do with, I know we talked last time, that's why we didn't close the public hearing, we left it open so you could speak.
Right.
Well, let's limit this to 3 minutes.
Okay?
Okay,
So
so-
first of all, this thing's wrong, as you said. And even the feet on the bottom are wrong. It doesn't add up.
Give us your name, Mr. Buster.
What?
Want to give us your name again and address?
It's John Bussard. I'm at 1050 Clem Road.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I'm going to react quickly here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is a very, very big building. And we don't believe it fits within the character of the neighborhood, and we also don't believe that they gave adequate reasons to build it. Because we were told they had to have a compelling reason, residential reason, and the reasons they gave weren't very good. They told me they needed to plow to it, but then they only told you things that need to be stored for the winter, no necessary to plow to. Next on the thing is, I sent you a picture with our backyard. Their yard goes like this and it drops off to ours. They want to build this 4 feet from our backyard. And that also means it's going to drop right off on what we used to call a farmer's field. It's now full of trees, but their property, it's just going to drop right off and all the water's going to go there. This is relevant because in the past, their sewage system was in the back. And the previous owners had 5 kids, and the sewage just seeped over to our property. It didn't come on the surface, it came underneath. So and then it seeped out, it smelled, the whole works. They've moved the septic lines to the front yard, but that means their property doesn't perk. So we're very interested in a drainage plan. The code says they had to present a drainage plan. There was no drainage plan presented today. So we think that's a problem. Next, you asked them last time what other buildings were there. And you said cross off the ones that they were going to get rid of. There's a chicken coop. And the chickens were there today when I was mowing my lawn. And you told them last time they couldn't have the chicken in a chicken coop. And there's also a gazebo which is in here. Now there's a whole debate on whether a gazebo is or is not. Now, there was a question on whether or not this would devalue our property. So I called 2 real estate people. One I couldn't get through, and of course then he called me back. They told me our price when we sell is up to supply and demand, but clearly demand will be down. So I don't know if our price will be down, but demand will be down because people will come, we would have, seen this big building and going, oh my gosh, I don't want to live next to that. And I always had trouble visualizing the size of this building. So I sent you a picture of one from down in Penn Yan. It's enormous. And to say that they're going to put golf carts, mowers, a tractor, and lawn furniture in 1,920 square feet with 14-foot walls doesn't make any sense. Now the other question that is sitting there, and I don't know partially the answer to this, but I'm suspecting that the garage doors are 12 feet and 14 feet high. So I called Faluca Garage. Say, can you raise one of those doors without electricity? Because they told you there's no electricity in the beginning. And they told me you either have to have electricity or you have to have a pull chain. Well, where's the pull chain? Inside. Now the pictures you saw last time, and I wanted to come into the town and I wanted to see the pictures, I was told no. There's no door. So how do you get into this thing to open the garage doors? Or are they going to build it without a garage door? So in our mind, trying to be the 3 minutes that you said, 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4. And that's a problem. Now our real estate agents also told us, and the lawyer we talked to, doesn't matter what anybody says, you just converted the property to commercial. Because nobody is going to build that size of a building and it not be commercial. And we know he's running a business, and we don't care that he's running the business today.
Sir, that was 3 minutes.
1920-foot addition to that property. There's no compelling reason that they've given for a residential use of that building.
Okay, we got you. All right, we appreciate your comments on it, and my question to you would be, what would you think we should be doing with it?
Turning them down.
Turning them down, based on what fact? What you just said?
Value the property, no compelling reason to build for residential purposes. That's what I've been told. It has to be residential, not commercial. And if you're going to...
Give me 1 minute.
What?
We gave you 3 minutes. Just give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
We have several of these have been built throughout the town.
Correct.
And in the same category, the same sizes.
I'll give you an answer.
One of the...
The real estate guy told me that you had one door on
I'm not
White
interested in
Road.
your real estate guy.
What?
I'm not interested in your real estate guy. He means nothing to us here. We're basing it on what the code says this gentleman is allowed to do.
Well, then make it farther back in the property. The code says he's got 2.2 acres, so it's 1,920 square feet. The code says nothing about 19 feet high, other than it's going to be over the house.
If he moved it back, how much would you expect him to move it
We expected
back?
it to be 100 feet.
And the purpose being?
To get away from our property, to reduce the risk of our property not being able to be sold with a high demand of people. And also so we don't have to look at it.
Okay, appreciate your comments. Board members, anybody, what are your feelings on it? He's conforming to what the code is. He's allowed to build that size. And we've had this before where neighbors are not happy with the way the code reads. Any suggestions? Jen?
What I was if we do approve it, it'll be put in there that it's for personal use only, not for.
Yep, and I agree with that.
Yeah, no electricity again.
I'm sorry?
There's no electricity going to the
No, there's no power
building.
going back there.
No
One of the
utilities.
benefits is actually, the gentleman, if he's got, like you just said, Mr. Webster, you said that he's got tractors and lawnmowers and stuff like that, at least he's able to keep it inside, out of sight. And we can put stipulation, no, I'm not asking you to respond, I'm talking to you. We can ask him to have no outdoor storage on the site. Now, let's just get away from that for a second. What are the issues with the chicken coop and stuff? I don't know what's all there. I mean, I'm not understanding that.
I don't think they had a permit, right, Josh?
Yeah, there was nothing on file, and we can follow up with them via code enforcement on the chicken issue.
That'd be a separate issue then?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so that would have to be dealt with as a separate issue. The chicken coop. What's that? I believe, was that chicken coop there when you moved in?
No, it was not.
You put it in, right? Okay.
I think also if the barn is drawn to scale in referenced distance to the neighbor's property, I think it would potentially be that 100 feet that was being requested, but again, I can't tell just because it's not drawn to scale right now.
Yeah, he's showing it back. What is he showing it back? It looks
So
like...
showing it 90 feet back off of the existing gravel.
Yeah, so he's 224 feet back from the road. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So he's we've got some that are right up to the backyard.
We've had some that are almost in the front yard.
Yeah, that's true too. All right, I know, Mr. Buster, I know you're not happy with the situation, but he's not asking for anything on this. I mean, he's totally allowed to do what he's requesting. Anybody, any further questions? Is there anybody else wishing to speak either for or against this project? Not seeing anyone, we'll bring it back. All right, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board. Anybody? Dave?
No, I think as long as it's 90 feet away from the main structure, it's
Okay.
good.
All right, Peggy, you're all right with it? All right. You fellas are all right with it down there too? All right, again, if there was a violation or something was beyond, I'd say yes, we could work along with you on it, but this is totally within his rights to do so. So, all right, then with that, we close the public hearing, bring it back up. Everybody seems to be pretty good with it. You gotta do a seeker on it.
Town of Webster Planning Board considered a request by applicant Angel Lagares to construct a 1,920 square foot pole barn on a 2.2 acre lot located at 1054 Clem Road, having SBL number 064.16-1-3. The planning board classifies the proposed action as a type 2 action under section 617.5C12 of the state environmental quality review regulations, and therefore is not subject to further review.
Okay, we have a motion, need a second.
Second. Okay.
And a second, all in favor? Okay, we're good. All right, I'll make a motion for preliminary approval for the pole barn on Clem Road, located at 1054 Clem Road. We'll make that subject to, actually, we can go through some of these. It's actually chapter 370, or 350 regarding zoning. The building conforms to the setbacks. I'm going to shorten this up, but just get the highlights of it. It does conform to the setbacks. It's not placed anywhere near the front line of the house. Accessory building is more than 500 square feet, so he has come in for a variance. It is no higher than the main structure, which is, I think, 19 feet. The main structure is 20.5. So he conforms with that. Application permission to construct, residential shall be compliant plan. The plot plan is shown that, and that the requirements in New York State Uniform Fire Prevention Code have he'll meet that. He's shown samples of what he's proposing to use for construction materials. I think you did present an estimated cost of your materials. I think I remember seeing that, right? Okay, we got that. And there's no more than one accessory structure and one shed will be allowed. Now, you're gonna have to work that out with the town, if there's anything more than that. This would be your accessory building. If you've got a shed or a chicken coop or whatever it may be, you'll have to work that out with the engineering department. We'll leave it at that. All right, and then on that, Jonathan brought up a couple points. You should draw the building to scale on your site drawing that you present to the town. You want to show the driveway, the width of it, going back to the building. There'd be no outdoor storage. Everything is inside, no outdoor storage. Very important, we got that. And as far as the chicken coop, that has to be dealt with, like I just stated. That'll be a separate issue. You can deal with the town with that. All right, anything else? I think that covers it, doesn't it?
No electrical
Oh, no electric going in.
and no business use.
No commercial use.
I'm sorry? What's that? I can't hear. Why don't you go up to the mic?
If I decide later on to get electric in there, would that be okay to get a permit?
I think, I don't see, most of them do put electric in anyway, so yeah, okay.
Okay, all right.
We'll scratch that part there, but it's just for personal use.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it's personal use is the other item in there. All right. Anything else?
Significant construction.
What's that?
Significant construction.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to get the highlights, the stuff that we don't have written, we got all that, all right. All right, that would be, this is a preliminary anyway, so this is for preliminary approval. That'll do it for preliminary, put that in a final date.
Okay,
All right, that would be my motion for preliminary approval. I need a second.
second. I'll second it.
Okay.
Mr. Kashani.
Aye.
Mr. Malta.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Mr. Kosel.
Aye.
Mr. Gassick.
Aye.
Mrs. Montman.
Aye.
Okay, I'll make a motion for final approval, base that on all requirements of the preliminary approval and significant construction to commence within 1 year of this date, July 1st, 2026.
Second it.
Have a second.
Mr. Kashani.
Aye.
Mr. Malta.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Mr. Kosel.
Aye.
Mr. Gassick.
Aye.
Mrs. Montman.
Aye.
Okay, I guess you're all set.
Thank you so much.
I'll ask you to just prepare the map that we spoke of.
Yes.
Present that to Josh, so he's got a copy of it, just for the
Okay.
record, before you get a building permit.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck. Okay.
Okay, the third item on tonight's agenda, Cobblestone Place Phase 2, located at 1025 Ravenside Lane. Applicant Brick Management is requesting preliminary site plan approval in association with the construction of a 3-story building containing 47 market rate apartment units on a 5-acre lot located in the MHR Medium High Residential District under Section 269-11 and 350-14 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Good evening, my name is Jake Calabrese. I'm with Marathon Engineering, and I'm here with Lieutenant Epps from Brickwood Management. We are presenting the Cobblestone Phase 2, 3-story, 24-unit market rate apartment facility located at 1025 Ravenside Lane. The prior meeting, the June meeting, we explained the submitted plans and whatnot, and we couldn't make any sort of motion due to the lack of a SWIP. So in the meantime, since then, we submitted a SWIP to the town on June 20th, and then, before that, and then received comments back on June 20th, and then met with town staff about those comments to confirm what needs to be done. A little background on that, we were utilizing the existing SWIP for the entire what was at that time the Webster Golf Tee development, which was, I think, like 100 acres of that whole area. We were using the water quantity for that SWIP, and then we designed the water quality. So now, after speaking with the town, we're going to have to come back and we're just going to review the water quantity calculations that Pastor O put together back in roughly 2010. We're going to confirm that those are still acceptable in the sense of what they built is what's out there, or what they designed is what is out there now. So we will be getting that updated SWIP back to the town after the holiday. The board had a few comments as well. We've added snow storage callouts to the site plan, stop sign details. We added bike racks, and I put those towards kind of the north and south of the apartment building to kind of avoid having a ton of bikes right at the main entrance, but still a place to lock them up and keep them safe. And another one was we updated the dumpster detail to be masonry, as well as we've now added 2 bioretention facilities, both right along the parking lot to conform with the new updated regs from prior, compared to the 2010 regs. And as it was said, we are looking for preliminary approval tonight to assist Brickwood Management to be able to start the process of purchasing the property and give us time to confirm the existing SWIP and update ours to give a final package to hopefully for the August meeting for final approval.
Where is it that you're showing the snow storage in there?
So the, let me get my map here. The snow storage is going to be, I guess it would be, we'll say page bottom left, which would be the east corner, kind of right in front of the dumpster, so you'll be able to pull all of that snow out of the parking spots that are not obviously parked in, and then plow it right down, as well as now with the bioretention facility that is now another, that's on the north of our parking, or I guess west side of our parking lot. That would be another area we could store some snow during the winter, as well as, if available, which we foresee being available, is all the way to the north end of the parking lot to be able to push the snow at one of those or 2 of those 5 parking spaces up top.
So we need to keep a couple of parking spaces empty to get through?
Yeah, yep, and as well as, I think those are gonna be the furthest spots from the apartment complex, so.
Okay, I remember we talked that the bike rack, snow storage, and dumpster, you've taken care of it all, I guess, then?
Yep.
All right, anybody have any questions or before we open it?
Is one dumpster enough for the number of units you have?
So we're gonna either expand it or we're gonna schedule it for 2 times a week for pickup for that. We just gotta confirm that with the waste removal company.
Okay. All right, well, okay, then again, this is a public hearing. If there is anyone here wishing to speak either for or against this proposal?
I just have a couple comments, sorry.
Not being anyone, then we'll close the public.
I'm sorry.
I just have a couple comments real quick.
Huh? No, I'm just opening it to the public.
Oh, okay.
And there is no response from anyone? Okay, then we'll close the public hearing, bring it back up. Go ahead, Travis.
Just your snow storage on the east side there by the dumpster, it's up a hill. I'm not sure if that's going to be a viable location for snow storage. And then you're going to be blocking off your garbage pickup, so maybe just consider some other locations for snow storage as well. The new landscaping on the south side that you're indicating is going into the tree line, the clearing limit. It's actually going past the clearing limit. Plus the trees that you're proposing, you're planting them in a hill So I'm concerned about the viability or the livelihood of, are those trees gonna survive where they're gonna be planted?
Yeah, I'll talk to our landscape architect and just confirm that he chose the correct plantings that would work out on a hill.
Okay, anything else, anybody? John? You all right?
Is there a recycling part of that garbage area?
I believe so. I mean, that's something we can absolutely add in. Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay, you can address these things at final.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Let's see, actually seeker was done on this project, so we don't have to do a seeker on this. This was done back when. All right, anything else, anybody?
Yeah, I just
John?
would like to chime in, and perhaps our town attorney can verify if I'm correct or not, but we would advise the board to not grant preliminary approval until the town has had an opportunity to confirm that the SWIP complies with today's regulations.
I thought, that wasn't done yet?
No. And the other comment that's arisen tonight is
I thought that was done.
plans storing snow in the bioretention area, and I'm not sure we'll accept that either. So their SWIP is still outstanding, and since the SWIP is outstanding, we've not had a chance to complete our review of their plans.
Okay.
That's been made clear.
I thought just at the conversation that we were able to at least get preliminary and then work that out.
Never said. No. My words to you were that we need an updated SWIP that you said you provide to us after the holiday, and from that we would move forward with review of the site plan. Because we can't move forward with the site plan review until we understand stormwater.
Well, unless you've got that, all right. I thought that was already resolved. Apparently not, okay.
Just the quantity aspect. Well, I guess you haven't reviewed, I
You
forgot.
have our review comments, correct?
We what?
You have our review comments.
Yes, yep, yeah.
That were provided
Yes.
in the plan.
Yes,
And
yep,
then we discussed the phone call last week.
yeah.
Well, then in that case,
We'll table this.
we'll table it, and my suggestion is if you can get this stuff all together, when you come back in again, we can do the preliminary final, hopefully all in one night.
Sounds good.
Does that work all right? This way you're not losing any time. Your still final will be, a month.
Perfect, appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, we make a motion. Somebody want to make a motion to table?
Going to our next meeting, August,
Yeah, whatever, I don't know, a month from now.
I make a motion to table this, Cobblestone, Phase 2 until our first meeting in August, or first Tuesday in August. I'm not sure what the date is.
Now,
It's August 5th.
August 5th, all right.
okay, so you motion to August, need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you.
Good luck, fellas. All right.
Okay, the fourth item on tonight's agenda, parking lot expansion located at 1050 Gravel Road. Applicant Michael Nucitelli is requesting preliminary and final site plan approval associated with a 20-foot by 105-foot parking lot expansion to an existing office building and self-storage facility on a half-acre lot having located in the medium density district under section 269-11 and 350-18.
Sir.
Hey, good evening. My name is Mike Nucitelli. So I did buy this. I was back a few months ago about a new sign. So I bought this property last summer. With the storage units and the tenants in there now, I don't think we need it for full-time parking, but I see the storage units pulling onto the lawn, kind of making it look like you-know-what. And a few overflow parking spots. Another concern I had was come the winter, with the building fully rented, we will need a space to put the snow without tearing up the lawn. I talked to Spalina Paving, and they think we can get about 8 spots painted, but my main concern was the turnaround, 2 or 3 cars of overflow, and then snow.
Okay. Now you're proposing to blacktop that section in there.
Yep, right there, we're gonna leave the remaining tree. There's a big tree there, we didn't wanna mess with that, or the green space. And then we also made sure we were aware of the easement sewer further back. The area is pretty, garden protected, so I'm not worried about the neighbors. Just trying to do what's best for the tenants and the property.
Now, you striping this for parking spaces?
We were gonna stripe it, but if the town wanted something else done, that's okay too. Again, Spalina offered to do it, we're gonna stripe 8 spaces, we already do have handicap. And again, at any given time, there's only 1 or 2 overflow cars, so I never expect it to be fully full. The building is fully rented, and my personal office is there also. So, I'm there 5-6 days a week, and I've seen it at its fullest. There's 1 or 2 overflow cars. It's not gonna be all 8.
So your office is there, the building is rented out, you don't have any outdoor storage?
Nope.
That's good.
Yes.
Can you keep it that way?
That's my goal.
I think, actually, Michael, that's a good part of it, because that's the upsetting part, is when we approve something like that, and then you see stuff parked out there, and all kinds of vehicles and so on all over the place. Doesn't make it look good, doesn't make the town look good,
I'm young in my career, I wanna be on everyone's good side and keep building with you guys, so. We're on the same team there.
All right, anybody, any questions before we open it?
No, I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Justin?
Does the back end there drain pretty well? My only concern was with the additional paving. Because when I drove by, it kind of slopes backwards and goes to that northeast corner essentially as a drop off. So I was just curious, even if you pave it, there's not a concern you're gonna have all of a sudden ponding back there or something like that with the water.
To my knowledge, no. I'm happy to talk to my guy to, kind of slope it accordingly, whatever you guys want to be done. I just don't want the lawn all torn up.
Okay, again, this is a public hearing, so if there is anyone here wishing to speak either for or against this, can we see it there? Nobody? Okay, no one wishing, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board. Decision, anybody?
No, I think it's all right.
You okay with it? You guys are all right with it?
Yeah.
All right, want to do a secret on it? Derek?
Town of Webster Planning Board considered a request by Michael Nuccitelli to construct a 20 by 105 foot parking lot expansion at an existing office building and self-storage facility located at 1050 Gravel Road on a 0.5 acre parcel having SBL number 078.20-1-69. The planning board classifies a proposed action as a type 2 action under section 617.5C2 of the state environmental quality review regulations, and therefore is not subject to further review.
Okay, a motion in a second.
Second.
Dave Mulkey. A motion in a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're good. Okay, and again, the applications for preliminary and final.
Yep,
Somebody
make a motion for preliminary site plan approval for parking lot expansion at 1050 Gravel Road, subject to PRC comments, subject to Monroe County Water
Yeah, you don't
Authority.
need it then.
All improvements shall be constructed according to specifications of Town of Webster. All site work to be in compliance with the standards of the Town of Webster. Comply with all requirements of any state, county, or town agency. Address drainage, snow storage. And the approvals are subject to the drawing as presented. That's a motion.
And you want to put in there, there's no outdoor storage
Yeah, no outdoor storage to be
on the site?
on the site.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion and a second. Go ahead.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Coastal?
Aye.
Mr. Gassie?
Aye.
Mrs. Malton?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Shawnee?
Aye. Okay, final approval.
Make a motion for final approval for parking lot expansion, 1050 Gravel Road. Subject to preliminary approval conditions, subject to all applicable government fees, subject to Department of Public Works approvals, Significant construction shall occur within 1 year as deemed by the planning board to expire on July 1st, 2026. Conditions of preliminary and final approval are depicted on the cover page of the final design plans. Subject to resolution and final approved minutes. Approvals are subject to drawing as provided.
That's your motion? Okay, need a second?
Second.
A motion and a second.
Mr. Malton?
Aye.
Mr. Kosel?
Aye.
Mr. Gassick?
Aye.
Mrs. Maltman?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Pishani?
Aye. Okay, guess you're all set.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Good luck.
Thanks. Okay, the next item on our agenda is Finger Lakes Federal Credit Union located at 711 and 715 Ridge Road. Applicant Ethan Stanley is requesting preliminary site plan and subdivision approval in association with the demolition of the existing structures, 2-story residential dwelling, barn, and garage, and the construction of a new 2,600 square foot banking facility with internal site parking on a proposed 2.26 acre lot located in the medium intensity commercial district under section 269-5 and 350-18.
Gentlemen,
Good evening. Evan Gaffel with Cottage Engineering and Bob McFadden with Finger Lakes Credit Union. So we were in to present in June. There were some comments from the board and they pertain to the landscaping along Ridge Road, to add some planting, screening, the undulating berms.
you like that word, huh?
And then there was also some comments from Mr. Gassick that I believe we incorporated, added the details, added the split rail fence back in, the fencing around the AC generator. And then we had received additional comments from Conservation Board. We submitted a response to those comments. The comment basically was, I think the thought was to clear cut the site for visibility to the bank. That was not the case. Actually, we want to kind of screen from Country Max, so we took it a step further and we're proposing to kind of recreate that buffer on that corner on the western portion of the property line with some native species, also with treating some of what we had originally depicted as lawn in the rear with the slopes, to do a no-mow grass mix to help. There's no reason to keep that manicured and maintain that. And this low-grow mix, will grow to a certain height and kind of flop over, and that will be that. We also worked with engineering staff to work through the SWIP review, and we received the engineering comments regarding site plans, and we don't have any issues with any of those comments. I'm addressing them for final.
Now you're here for just preliminary, right?
And I
Just preliminary site plan, okay.
think that's kind of it.
All right, yeah, I think what you've done along the road, we've gone through the building, we've gone over and over that.
Yeah.
But the landscaping along Ridge Road, I know there's salt, and I've heard all those stories before over the years, but there are ways and you've done it, so that's good.
Sure, and the plant material that's spec'd is,
Yeah, I
it will be
appreciate
salt
that.
tolerant.
It does make a different appearance, and you know what, this is what comes back. I hear this from people, why aren't these guys doing this or that, and
Right.
so on and so forth, so I think that's a good attraction to it, okay. All right, anybody, again, it's a public hearing, so.
No, that's all for
Then we'll open it to the board. Anybody in the audience here wish to speak either for or against this? And again, no one. It's a quiet night tonight, I guess. All right, bring it back to the board and close the public hearing. Anybody? Derek? Peggy?
Nope.
No, it looks good. I think they did a good job.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
And that's a nice addition to the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the landscaping plan's gonna look really good, might become a new standard there that we reference, so I think it'll look really good.
Yep.
Were all the SWIP comments addressed via PRC for engineering in order for us to do preliminary?
They will, yes.
They will be?
We reviewed them with them, we're okay with preliminary.
Okay.
Conditional.
Okay.
Based on our comments, dated,
June 27th?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, we're good with that.
okay.
based on that, then we'll go ahead and we'll do
Yep, I'll make a
seeker.
motion for.
Everybody's gonna do a seeker on it.
Oh, that's a secret, okay.
This is an unlisted action. Town of Webster Planning Board considered a request by applicant Jason Stanley to demolish existing structures, two-story residential dwelling, barn, and garage, and construct a 2,600 square foot banking facility with internal site parking located at 711 and 715 Ridge Road on a proposed 2.25 acre lot having SBL number 079.17-1-78.11 and 079.17-1-79 and in an MC medium intensity commercial district. The planning board determined that the proposed action is an unlisted action under section 617 of the state environmental quality review regulations. The planning board determined that the action is subject to single agency review pursuant to part 617.6B1 of seeker, and that it is the most appropriate agency for making the determination of significance. The planning board therefore declares or designates itself lead agency for the proposed action. The planning board has given consideration to the criteria for determining significance as set forth in section 617.7C1 of seeker, and has 1, considered the information contained in the environmental assessment form Part 1 dated May 12, 2025. 2, consider public comments directed to the planning board during the public hearing on June 3rd, 2023 and July 1st, 2025, or sorry, both of them were 2025. And 3, completed parts 2 and 3 of the environmental assessment form. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby determines that the proposed action will not have a significant adverse effect on the environment for the reasons set forth in the attached notice of determination of non-significance. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board is authorized to take all actions reasonable and necessary to file a negative declaration and discharge the Town of Webster Planning Board's responsibility as lead agency for this action. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board, based on the information analysis above, the reference supporting documentation, and discussions of the actions by the Town of Webster Planning Board as documented by the minutes for this meeting, that the proposed action will not result in any significant environmental impacts. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board therefore makes a determination of non-significance. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board, based on the above reasons, issues a negative declaration as evidence of its determination.
Okay, I have a motion in a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion now for preliminary.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for preliminary approval for Finger Lakes Federal Credit Union located at 711 and 715 Ridge Road. Subject to PRC comments. Subject to a letter of credit posted with the Town of Webster if applicable. Subject to Conservation Board comments. Subject to Monroe County Water Authority comments. All improvements shall be constructed according to the specification of the Town of Webster. All site work to be in compliance with the standards of the Town of Webster. Comply with all requirements of any state, county, or town agency. Address drainage, lighting, signage, landscaping, buffering, berming, and snow storage. Approvals are subject to the drawing as presented. And that's a motion.
You want to put in there, what is this drawing, CA 130? Because we've had different drawings, just for the record, maybe to include that one. All right,
I would say CA 120.
120? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, thank you, put it up, I was looking at the other one there. All right, and I think Dave, maybe you may want to include too.
Well, sorry, I don't think it would be the CA 120, that's the actual just sheet designation. It would be the drawing date.
Where's the date? I can't even see
It would
it.
be on the, probably on the front page when the drawing is dated, because that would encompass the whole set. So May 12th, revised
Oh, yeah, there's
6/16.
okay, right, 12, okay.
May 12th.
Yeah, May 12.
It would be revised 6/16, so this is the 6/16 set.
And you might want to put in there, there was an extensive review done, in this case, with the trees, and this is a big issue lately. Might want to put in there, the comments of the Conservation Board be included in that.
I did.
Well, I mean, we actually put what they put, put this right in there, their comments in there.
Okay, we'll put their comments in there.
Yeah, okay.
We had the comments of the Conservation
I
Board.
think they should be included. It's right inside there. Okay. Okay, that's a motion, we need a second.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're good with that. Final, I guess, well, it isn't down as a final, so we can't do anything with it.
No.
All right,
Well, that was preliminary, so.
yeah, that's it, yeah. All right, I guess with that, we're set for the evening.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good luck, thank you, guys.
Okay, our next and final item on the agenda is Lockwood Electric, located at 633 Basket Road. Applicant John Erlon Lockwood is requesting preliminary site plan approval associated with the construction of an 8,822 square foot multi-tenant post-frame style building on a 1.48 acre lot located in the industrial district under section 269-11 and 350-22.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, my name is Greg McMahon, I'm with McMahon LaRue. We're here tonight presenting the plan for Lon Lockwood Electric for their parcel on Basket Road. It's located on the west side of Basket Road, approximately between Tibor and Schlegel. It's 1.4 acres. It has an existing driveway to a metal building and a small stone structure currently on the property. The development will retain the existing metal building, and in addition, there'll be a 8,822 foot industrial business building built on the property. It is zoned industrial. We have appeared before the town board for the necessary approval, and also last month we were before the zoning board of appeals and obtained the variances that were required. So we're here tonight for site plan for the structure. We've got parking located both in the front and the rear of the building. Disturbance is proposed to be less than 1 acre. We do have a bioretention swale around the south and east side of the property. The existing metal building will be connected to the new structure, and one of the proposed tenants for this is a doggy daycare center. This may involve some additional special use permit approvals from the town board. We'll be pursuing those once the developer is able to start construction on this building. He'll be occupying a good portion of the building, but I think leasing 1 or 2 of the spaces to other small businesses. There is a berm proposed along the portion of the frontage on Basket Road, which will be planted with evergreens. There is an existing, a pretty significant existing evergreen barrier along the west property line. And to the south, or I'm sorry, to the north of this, is just an access roadway to an industrial facility that lies further to the west of this building. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Well, I think the concern we had last time, I think Derek brought up, wasn't it, Derek? Yeah, you were talking about being in an ag district.
Yeah, if that was.
That was it. That was basically it, right?
Yeah, we had confirmed that
Yeah, no,
this
that's
is
good.
not
This
within.
one's outside.
All right. Anybody, any questions or concerns at this point?
I have just a couple questions. So dumpster enclosure, on here says it's fenced instead of concrete or masonry. I think we would want that to be masonry since it's industrial use. Colors of the exterior building, I don't know if we saw, I know the rendering on the front page is black and white, but I just didn't know what the colors are or the material that's being proposed on the outside of the building. There's a proposed work within the 20-foot wide RG&E easement. Has that been approved by RG&E or verified with them that that can be performed there?
I want to make sure we have this.
So on the, looking at the plans, it's on the north side, closer to Rock Properties. There's an existing easement there that RG&E has where there's proposed fencing, there's a proposed sanitary line, proposed clean out within that easement. Just want to make sure that that is okay to be put in that RG&E utility easement there.
There was nothing in the easement that precluded that, but this would typically go to RG&E.
Yep. Okay. And then there's a proposed private 10-foot sanitary easement to Rock Properties. Has that been?
If it hasn't been obtained already, they're in the process of obtaining that easement. There was an existing lateral was installed on the sanitary sewer when it was constructed.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be an easement to cross their driveway and serve this property.
Okay. Is there any proposed signage as part of the project, or is that something you're going to come back for later?
If there is anything, they'll be coming back for it. This is not at least the Lockwood facility is not where customers would be driving into. This is their facility.
Well, there's a doggy daycare, so I didn't know if that would have a signage, for example.
They would have to come back and obtain it.
And then the building is industrial use. Is it sprinklered or non-sprinklered?
The code, again, I don't want to, the architect assured us that it did not require sprinkling due to the use and the size of the structure.
Okay. Great. Just curious because it was a 1-inch line only going in, so those are all the questions I have.
You got it? You all right?
I have this doggy daycare thing, is the dogs gonna remain inside or are they gonna be taken outside?
I don't know the full extent. There's a fenced area shown where there may be a play area, but if that is a use that they are proposing, they would have, I believe, when they come to the town board, they would have to address things like dogs outside, no overnight, that's not boarding, but that would be up to the tenant to present that information.
Or just if they were outside, or just concerned about dog waste that was gonna be picked up on a regular basis and...
They would have to make those arrangements.
Okay, all right.
Erica, have they got a copy of this that you gave me from Keith?
That came in this later in the afternoon, so I didn't have a chance to distribute that to the rest of the board.
All right, there's some comments from the engineering department here.
Okay.
To be added onto the plans. Access time. Most of it are right, Keith? They're just comments for stuff, right? They're not modifications to the building.
No.
Okay, then
No,
what I'll do.
changes in material.
Matter of fact, why don't you take this? That way you've got a copy and you can address it on your final drawings, okay?
Thank you.
I just got that from her.
think, Tony, my only other commentary was we just went through an exercise on vegetative screening, and this is proposing just evergreens. Is that something that we would want to have modified? I know there's residential neighbors right across the street. Maybe just get their perspective on what would be preferred that they see. If it's evergreens as just screening, sure, or maybe something else.
I'm okay with it. I mean, if they're, what's the height of those, Greg? The trees in the front there?
I think typically we usually propose 6 foot or 6 to 8. I'll see if that's noted on the plan.
So if it's residential, I think it's a good point. I think if they put 6 to 8 foot trees in there, lots of.
Is that is that what they get, full growth? Or is that what
No,
they
that's what they
plant?
plant.
So how tall do they get? I have them in my yard, they're like 60 to 90 feet tall.
I just want to let them go, yes.
They would, typically, new evergreens are usually 6 feet.
Yeah.
And again, they'll be on top of about a 3 foot berm.
All right, I think that's adequate.
Over the years, they get big.
Well, I think the point is they're making the move to protect it from the residential. I think that's good. Better than sticking a couple of petunias out there, I'm sure. All right, I guess we're good with that, so want to move forward with this then? You open this or not?
Public hearing?
Is there anyone wishing to speak in regard to this project? And if not, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back up. Everybody's okay with this? We've gone through it. You want to do a seeker on it?
This is something right.
Yes.
Town of Webster Planning Board considered a request by applicant Lon Lockwood to construct a 8,822 square foot multi-tenant post frame style building located at 633 Basket Road on a 1.48 acre lot having SBL number 066.03-1-9.11 in an industrial district. The planning board determined that the proposed action is an unlisted action under Part 617 of the State Environmental Quality Review Regulations. The planning board determined that the action is subject to a single agency review pursuant to Part 617.6B1 of SEQR, and that it is the most appropriate agency for making the determination of significance. The planning board therefore designates itself lead agency for the proposed action. The planning board is giving consideration to the criteria for determining significance as set forth in section 617.7C1 of SEQR, and has 1, considered the information contained in the short environmental assessment form, Part 1, dated March 14th, 2025. 2, considered public comments directed to the planning board during the concept review on May 4th, 2025. 3, considered public comments directed to the planning board during the public hearing on July 1st, 2025, and completed Parts 2 and 3 of the environmental assessment form. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby determines that the proposed action will not have a significant adverse effect on the environment for the reasons set forth in the attached notice of determination of non-significance. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board is authorized to take all actions reasonable and necessary to file a negative declaration and discharge the Town of Webster Planning Board's responsibility as lead agency for this action. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board, based on the information analysis above, the reference supporting documentation, the discussions of the actions by the Town of Webster Planning Board is documented by the minutes for this meeting, that the proposed action will not result in any significant environmental impacts. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board therefore makes a determination of non-significance. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board, based on the above reasons, issues a negative declaration as evidence of its determination.
Okay, a motion and a second.
Second.
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the application is in for preliminary approval. Dave, you're on a roll with it, all right, let's keep
I'll
going.
make preliminary approval for Lockwood Electric, located at 633 Basket Road, subject to PRC comments, subject to a letter of credit posted with the Town of Webster, if applicable, subject to Monroe County Water Authority comments, Subject to determination of the ZBA for requested variances. No improvements shall be constructed according to the specification of the town of Webster. All roadway construction be according with specification regulations set forth by the town of Webster. Site work to be in compliance with the standards of the town of Webster. Comply with all requirements of any state, county, or town agency. Address drainage, lighting, signage, landscaping, buffering, berming, and snow storage. Approvals are subject to drawing number C200, site plan layout. And that's the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion, you second, all right.
Mr. Malter?
Aye.
Mr. Kosel?
Aye.
Mr. Gasser?
Aye.
Mrs. Maltman?
Aye.
Mr. Kashani?
All right, can we amend that before we move on?
Sure.
I think we should have, what you brought up, the colors should be put in there, or samples of what material they're using for the structure,
Yes, we can
and
take care of that.
modification to the dumpster.
Yes.
I'm looking at the lighting. The lighting is all directed just on the site, nothing casting out toward the road,
Nothing
correct?
going off the site.
Okay. All right. Okay to add that in there?
Yep.
All right. Okay, we have a motion, and we're okay with that, so we've got it right there. That's it.
Are we gonna vote on it? Are we gonna vote on it?
We just did.
We just
Oh, we
did.
did?
He just added.
Yeah, I just added
two
that.
more things.
Okay.
I just wanted to put it on to it. All right, guess we're all set.
All right, thank you.
We'll see you later. All right, anything else? That's the last one, isn't
We
it?
have two people sitting out here, I don't know.
Are you folks here for something? Why don't you come up? I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, we were told there was a group of people from Blue Creek Drive speaking tonight.
Oh.
So,
Well, that was the project that we announced at the beginning that they asked to be tabled.
Oh, perfect.
So you guys just spent some time here listening to all this baloney for nothing.
Yeah, so it's tabled for the next meeting.
So it'll be a month from now.
August
August
5th.
5th.
Sorry about that, fellas. And what do we got? Just a minute to do, I guess? We can do that. All right, with that, that was our last item on our agenda, so I guess we're done for the evening. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, he wasn't here last meeting either.
Oh, really? I didn't even notice.
Hi, everyone, thanks for having me.
Okay, Frank, thanks for all the help.
Sorry I couldn't be there. Sorry I couldn't be there today.
Oh, thanks for all the help.
Nice seeing you, Frank.